Thunkable. So let's start with it. So the first tip that I'd like to share is that don't go with Thunkable at first. Use Code Studio before you go with Thunkable. That is because in Code Studio, it's really a small version of coding, and Thunkable has a lot of complex code blocks that is not there with Code Studio, but you can get an idea of the same if you use Code Studio before you use Thunkable. That's why I prefer you to use Code Studio before you go with Thunkable. And the next point is that in Thunkable, you can get help from Thunkable community, but never copy projects from Thunkable community. And this is a really important thing that many people do copy projects from Thunkable community, and yeah, they use them for good purposes. But it's requested that never copy projects from Thunkable community and just use it with your own name. You can copy projects from Thunkable community and you can learn from them. You can just learn the code parts and all those, but don't copy projects from Thunkable community. Yeah, if you want to do something new, then please start with your own app that you code yourself, not at all of someone else who has created in Thunkable community. One more thing, if you have any doubts, you can ask to Thunkable community if you have any doubts. So they have a community option in Thunkable, so you can ask your doubts to Thunkable community and they would really try to clear them. So I had a lot of doubts when I started with Thunkable at the beginning, and still I have doubts. So I asked them in Thunkable community and they really respond to me over mail. And some people are there who are really helpful and respond to us and help us in Thunkable community. And the next point is that if you do not get help from Thunkable community, please use other social media platforms to uh, get help, but please do not copy anybody's project. So do not copy anyone's project. This is a must thing. Yeah, this is not any such rule that if you copy anybody's project, it won't be good at all those. But no, a strict no to those who copy anyone's project and use it in their names. So I have seen many people who copy someone's project, use it in their name, and many people say that they have only created the project, and the one who had actually created the project, no, that person is not at all known by anyone. Only the person who used that person's project. That's why never ever copy anyone's project. So let it be from Thunkable community, let it be from YouTube or anywhere. Never copy anyone's project. So these 2 points are not different, they're mostly same, but still I posted these 2 things. And the next point is that when you start coding, do not try to use complex code at the beginning only. Use simple codes at the beginning. Why I say this is because if you try to use complex codes at the beginning, to try to use if-else conditions before you know the usage of functions, if you start to use sprites before you know about the canvas, you won't be able to go with it at all. You won't be able to continue your coding if you do like that, if you don't follow the sequence of coding. I have already posted a sequence video of coding. All my videos come in sequence and do not do this, do that, do those, and do this. But one more thing, that once you shift to Thunkable, don't try to go back to Code Studio and don't try to code. So use use several coding platforms. There are many coding platforms like CodePen, GitHub, and all of them are really useful, but there's a sequence of using platforms. Follow this sequence. So I am giving you a sequence of coding, of using coding platforms. So I would really like to reduce my pen size and I will the sequence. So the first thing is that use Code Studio. Number 2, use Thunkable. Number 3, use GitHub. No, number 3, use CodePen and then use GitHub. And then use GitHub. And there are many other platforms, but I really like these platforms. I have still not gone to GitHub yet, so I'm sorry for missing the number 4. I've still not gone to GitHub yet, but yeah, it's really useful. And you can use other platforms also. So these are some really important coding things that you need to, coding tips that you need to learn before you start coding. Now, the next thing I would like to tell you is about Thunkable. So in Thunkable, both the designing and the blocks part is equally important. If you cannot design well, if you cannot design your app's UI, that is user interface, well enough, you won't be able to pass any competitions. So in order to pass competitions, that is essential to, you know, make a good user interface. For that, you need good screen background. Now, one tip I would really love to give you, that's the 8th tip. So just give me a moment. The eighth tip is that try to use Canva. Try to use Canva and put labels. What's wrong with this? Yeah. And put labels in the Canva image itself as much as possible. Okay, so try to put labels in the Canva image itself. That's really important, because in Thunkable you can also put labels and all, but yeah, it's really essential. It's not really essential, but it's needed for a good interface, that you have good labels in good designing. In Thunkable, you don't have much option to use good designing for labels. That's why we recommend you to use labels in Canva as much as possible, and keeping in mind all the other designing to put in your app designing part, that's the UI. And the next thing I'd like to tell you, that's about blocks. Many people, I have checked many people's app in Play Store, and then only I'm making the video. That many have their apps in Play Store, and many are small kids like 7 years or 8 years or like that. And there are a lot of comments. I just saw one comment that those who are installing these what was that, not useful apps from Thunkable are either family members or paid by the student and are giving good ratings. So this app doesn't at all it doesn't at all deserves good ratings, because it's made in Thunkable. That's a block-based coding program. That was the comment I just saw for an app, and I just was about to laugh, because block-based coding is really needed to learn by a person in order to code well. Yeah, if one does not know this block-based coding also, that person won't be able to code at all. I don't know if the person wrote it all. It might be so that the person is really good at JavaScript text-based coding. But yeah, block-based coding in Thunkable is also very, very important. Just see these blocks. If someone doesn't know coding at all, they won't be able to use, and they don't know which to use after which. So these blocks are not at all arranged in a sequence. So these are just added as when and where the people will need may use these blocks. That's how it's used. So if a person who doesn't know coding is given this set of blocks of list, that person won't be able to understand what this list is. That person won't be able to understand that in Thunkable there is a list component, that the list viewer component that one can add in the screen. If a person doesn't know about the web API thing, that person won't be able to understand that they can extract things from web API. If a person does not know about the web viewer component, a person won't be able to know at all that in your app you can add another app, another website's link. So these are things that one needs to learn. This is a ninth point I'd like to share. And before one comments on anybody's app, that person needs to know. Yeah, might be that person knows very well coding. I don't know the person at all. I would like to not to take the name, but yeah, coding is also important. It's essential. And in Thunkable, also one rule is must. It's not must, but you need to have your app's description, your app's name, and your app's icon. So these things are really essential, because otherwise, if you have your app in the APK format, you would have this only Thunkable icon. That's not at all fair. So these were the tips that I have shared already with you, and I'd like to make more videos on these kind of topics. And also, I would also like to make a new playlist of master posts I'd like to post. So master posts, about master posts and all. I may post, I may not post a video in the introduction, the updates part. But yeah, these were the tips a beginner needs really. And thank you for watching this video. If you have liked this video, put a thumbs up and subscribe to Coding Station if you already have it. This is Coding Station signing off.